What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode on the Right Mindset Lesson. I am your host, Thomas J. Bellezza. Today, we are going to go on the Pomodoro Technique for writing. The Pomodoro Technique for writing, how to use it and why it works. Some things we'll go over in the lessons is, in this lesson, we'll explore the Pomodoro technique for writing. This technique involves breaking down writing tasks into focused 25-minute intervals with short breaks in between. We'll talk about its popular productivity method that can help writers stay focused, why it's popular. And, so let's dive in. Let's get into that intro. Roll it. Right, yeah. So today is going to be the Pomodoro, all right, technique for writing, how to use it and why it works. Okay, so before we really get into the whole thing, please subscribe if you're a beginner or advanced writer and you want to learn a little bit about craft, maybe understand how storytelling goes by analyzing it with us, since I do analyzing videos, and maybe listen to some interviews with fellow writers. Then hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon so you don't miss out. Let's get right into it. So we want this one. We want this one. We want this one. Okay. What is the Pomodoro technique? Well, I'm going to tell you. The Pomodoro technique was developed by Francesco Cirillo in the late 1980s. It's a time management method that uses a timer to break down work into intervals, traditionally 25 minutes in length, separated by short breaks. The name Pomodoro comes from the Italian word for tomato. You say potato, I say potato. And Cirillo used a tomato-shaped kitchen timer to track his work intervals. All right. Now, I will say this. I use a system similar to this, but I'll do anything from 15 to 30 to 90 to, or 60 to 90 to 120 minutes, no longer than 2-hour blocks of time. And I actually schedule out my entire work day. But I got that idea from this originally. It's just I created a system that works for me based on this. So how to use the Pomodoro technique. All right, so how we could apply the Pomodoro technique to our writing. Well, here's 6 steps that could potentially help you. The first step is choose a writing task to focus on. All right. What this means is if you're going to do brainstorming, just focus on the brainstorming, whatever, for the time block, which is going to be 25 minutes. So you say to yourself, look, for 25 minutes, I'm just going to focus on brainstorming. And then let's say you're writing your first draft, your first chapter 1. Then only work on chapter 1. Don't jump around and work on other things. Just focus your efforts. If you're going to do some character development or editing or cleaning, whatever the task is that you choose, focus on that task for 25 minutes. Step 2 is actually set your timer for 25 minutes. Once you've decided on the task, I use the computer or I use my phone. Very simple. Okay. Step 3 is work on your work on your writing task for 25 minutes without any distractions. This is probably the hardest part because we have our phone, we might have music on our background, we might have a dog, we might have a relationship, we might have whatever the case is. You have to create boundaries for yourself and for those around you. And if you're doing 25 minutes of focused task work, turn your phone off. All right. Or if it is on and it goes off, just look at the notification quickly to see if it's an emergency. If it's not, Stay focused. You don't have to respond to everyone right away. You need to focus on your stuff. Um, you gotta create a nice workable space. But anyway, this brings us to step 4. When the timer goes off, take a short break of 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes, whatever the case is. I like to walk around on my break. I'll take the dog for a walk, or I'll stand up and stretch. Because I don't want to be sitting all day. All right. Number 5 is repeat steps 2 to 4 for a total of four Pomodoro minutes, all right, or sessions, I should say. All right. So basically, you're going to be working for anywhere from 15 minutes to 2 hours, right? So that's good, right? Well, technically 60 minutes, because if you take 2 breaks, that's 10 minutes. And if 2 Pomodoro sessions are 25 each, that's 50 plus 10 minutes, that's an hour. So basically, you're working for 2 hours, which is how I said that's the longest I'll ever work on a session. After 4 Pomodoros, take a long break of 15 to 30 minutes, because now you've earned the right to be like, I need to breathe a little bit. All right, so there you go. Those are the 6 methods. And again, that's if I may, let's see if I could can I pop that here? Boop. Oh, it's too much. Let's see if I could do this. There you go. Choose a task. There you go. Set your time for 25 minutes. Step 3, work on your writing task for 25 minutes without any distractions. Step 4, this is when the timer goes off. Take a short break of 5 minutes. Step 5, repeat steps 2 and 4 for a total of 4 Pomodoros. Step 6, after 4 Pomodoros, take a long break of 15 to 30 minutes. And there you go. That's the Pomodoros. Pomodoros. All right. Okay, there you go. Now, why the Pomodoro technique works for writing. There are a few reasons why the Pomodoro technique can be effective for writing, and here you go. First, the Pomodoro allows you to focus on 25-minute intervals, which help break down larger writing tasks into more manageable chunks, especially for the brain. Okay. Second, the short breaks between intervals give your brain a chance to rest and recharge, which can help improve concentration and creativity. And finally, the Pomodoro technique helps you stay accountable and focused by providing a clear structure and timeline for your writing sessions. Not only that, but it also helps develop habits. All right. So that brings me to final thoughts. So there you have it. The Pomodoro technique for writing. Very simple. Whether you're struggling with procrastination or simply want to be more productive with your writing time, this technique can be a valuable tool to add to your arsenal. So give it a try and see how it works for you, etc., etc. However, I would like also to add, how do I do my sessions, and what did I adjust from this technique? Like I said, depending on how much time I have in the day, because my job is not writing. That's how I look as an author. I don't go, my job is not writing. That's the reward. And the reason I look at it, writing as a reward, is because I would write even if I didn't get paid for it. It's just, I'm a writer. And I'm sure you're the same way, especially if you're starting out. You're writing to write. You write on your free time, whatever the case is. My job is to network, market, practice. My job is to manage my time, money, and people. My job is to use my entrepreneurial brain to find solutions and think outside the box in a proactive way. My job is to take my talents and understand what my value sets are, so when I join tables, I know how to lead, follow, and advise. I bring value to that table. My job is to organize my money into security, growth, and dreams, so I can protect myself, invest in myself, and reward myself. My job is to treat my life like a business by investing into assets, so I can develop wealth, which allows me the choices in my life to make, where I can say I want to do something or not do something. And I have to break up my nine. Well, I work a longer day than normal, so um, I'll work anywhere between from like 10 or 11 in the afternoon, because I don't start working until I do my morning routine, which is take care of my dog. I'll eat, I'll shower, I'll relax a little bit, and then once I sit down to work, which is anywhere from 10 to 11 or even 12, then I'll work. And I'll work, if I start at 12, I'll work until about 9 ish. I'll have a lunch, I'll have a dinner in there, which would technically be a lunch break. If I start at 10, I'll still finish at 9. So basically, wherever I start, I increase my day. If I end up having to go out because I have errands to run or something like that, I'll adjust my time schedule. And that's where I change things up. So if I have to go out and I know I'm going to be out for half the day, I'll actually change my time blocks to 15 minutes, because working on it in general is the important part. It's not about finishing things. It's about consistently working on things and consistently starting things. And that consistency leads to a completed task. But the rule of thumb is, if your to-do list runs out of things to do, then you're doing nothing. And you should always be doing something, right? So it's all about working consistently. If I'm going to have a full day, then I know that I have a minimum of at least 8 hour time blocks, because I have the hour lunch. So if I work 9 hours, really I have an hour lunch in there, right? And doing so, I map out my day, and I'll either do half-hour blocks or hour blocks. And then once I get to 9 o'clock, I'll take an hour break. Okay. And then I'll come back and I'll write for an hour or two. Or sometimes if I end up, I'll do a half day, right? I'll work, I'll do my work. I'll work on networking and building relationships. I'll work on the marketing. I'll work on learning more about the industry. I'll work on managing my money, handling my money stuff, etc., etc. If I do a half day so I can work harder on that, I'll actually compress it into half-hour blocks or 15-minute blocks, and then I'll do an hour or two on writing. I write every day. I always write a minimum of an hour a day, but I'll write for a maximum of 2 hours a day. And if I have if I have a client project going on, then I know that I have to do those half days so I can dedicate time to the clients, because they're cash money. They're paying me for that time. And that's how I use this technique, and I adjust it for my needs. And that's the thing. When you work on a strategy, start with what works for you and adjust it based on your needs. You don't have to be so strict with these things. You only have to be strict with what works for you. Now, I'm not saying don't abuse that freedom of saying, well, I'm just not going to do anything today because I am allowed to do what I want. No, you have to set some boundaries, and you have to set some accountability, and you have to be willing to at least sit down and do your work. All right. Next video in this series, we'll focus on overcoming writer's block. I'll give you tips and tricks. Well, how to recognize writer's block. We'll talk about three strategies to overcome writer's block, and one way to overcome psychological barriers. Question: how do you currently manage your time and tasks? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing different techniques, and that's the beauty of what we do here. One way is not the only way. There are many ways, and it's nice to see that everyone has a strategy, and you got to find what works. With that said, if you like what you watched here and you haven't done so already, please click the subscribe button and tap that bell icon so you don't miss out. And that's it. As always, keep developing the right mindset, and I love you guys. Thank you so very much. I appreciate all the support. I mean, we're doing so great with the channel. We're over 500 subscribers, and I couldn't be more happy in our second year. So here we go.